Hello again, fellow modelers. This is P.J.C. 2.0, and this is part 2 of my Klingon battlecruiser build. Now, as you can see, I've already assembled the nacelles and puttied the seams on the bottom, but the seams on this nacelle are pretty bad, so I'm really have to sand them to smooth them out. I've also puttied some seams on this headpiece, and there are also some green SMDs there and there for the disruptor firing effect. That was a last minute thing I added. I've also puttied the seams on this rear piece, I don't know what it's called. And I've also puttied the seams on this bridge piece. You can also see I've got these rear engine vents covered up. I covered them with some styrene pieces, and on the inside those styrene pieces are covered with this silver aluminum tape. And now I'm going to light this up and demonstrate it for you. And there we go. As you can see, the engine vents are lit up. They look good. Both the red and green nav lights are working. And now I'm going to get to work sanding the seams on the warp nacelles. Alright, I just spent the last hour sanding the seams on this bridge piece, this rear piece, and both the nacelles, as well as this head piece. And now what I'm getting ready to do is thread the wiring through the neck into the main body of the model. Now basically what I'm doing is threading the wiring from the headpiece into the main body of the model, and being very careful because the hole I'm threading these wires through is not very big. Getting the 3 longest wires through was easy, but getting these last two are a little difficult, but I managed to thread them through. Now I'm just gluing the headpiece to the main body. I have to be very careful not to apply too much of this glue because the glue I'm using is Weld-On number 3, which is basically the same thing as model airplane glue. Now that the head is glued on real good, I'm just basically connecting the main lighting in the head to the main lighting in the body of the model. Now I'm just basically going to test the disruptor lights to make sure they're still working, and so far so good. Now I'm threading some of the wiring through the mounting rod I'm using, and the one I was originally going to use was a 7x32 size. The one I'm using now is 5x16. Now I'm connecting the main lighting in the headpiece to the main lighting in the body of the model, and once I'm done soldering those 2 connection points together, I'm going to test it and make sure it's all working good. And so far so good. All the lighting is working. The nav lights and the window lights are all working. The impulse engine lights are working. So far everything's going good with this build. Now I'm just adding some extra wiring to the strobe lights. That way when it comes time to connect the bottom strobe light to the 2 strobe lights on the top piece, I'll be ready to thread them through the mounting rod and connect them to whatever strobe light effects board I choose to use for this model. Alright, now I've got the red clear pieces on the nacelles all masked off and ready for painting with this green masking tape, which I'm hoping will hold up till it comes time to remove the masking. Now, the majority of the paintwork in this model will be giving its final look. There I will be using a lot of this masking tape, which at some point in this video I will be putting up some pictures to show you all the final look that I'm going for with this build. Now, for the engine vents, I've got them masked off with this blue liquid masking that I have, and I'm hoping this stuff holds up until it comes time for me to take it out. Now basically what I'm doing is light blocking the model again. I noticed as I was installing the lighting that not all of the inside light blocking was working so good. So now I'm just basically going to light block the outside. And you guys get to watch the next 35 minutes of me painting go by in just a few seconds. Now these are the colors I'm thinking about using for this build to give it its final look. Although I might not use one or two of these colors, it depends on which ones I like. I'm using Model Master Insignia Red for some of the red details or for the red wing panels. AK Deep Yellow for some of the yellow details. AK Dirty Red, again for some of the red details or for the wing panels. I was thinking about using this AK Blood Red, but this red looks too bright, so I might not use it. Tamiya Yellow Green for some of the hull panel details, or I might use Tamiya Dark Yellow. For other hull panel details, I'm going to use Tamiya NATO Green. And for the main hull color, I'm going to use these two Model Masters colors evenly mixed together, because according to the instructions that come with the model, these two colors mixed together are what make the main hull color. Now let's go ahead and mix the two colors together and see what we get. I like the color that I'm getting so far, this mixture. It looks a lot like the color that the filming model was painted with. Well, to me it does anyway. Now basically what I'm doing is taking a small amount of the paint and putting it on this piece of cardboard to use like a sample to help me decide which paint colors I will be using for this model and which paint colors I won't be using. Now this is the base that came with the model, and I will not be throwing it away. I'll be using it. I'll be using it along with this Polar Lights dome base, or if I see a different kind of base that looks like it'll work better, I'll use it instead. Now all I gotta do is draw out the hole for the mounting rod, then prime it and paint it. I wanted to test the main hull color mixture to see if I would like it, and so far I do like it. It looks exactly like the color they used on the filming model, which is exactly what I wanted. Now, originally I was going to paint on the main hull color, then mask off various hull panels and paint them, but then I decided that method might take too long and use up too much masking tape, so I've decided to go with the method that's always worked for me. I've decided to use the paint method that's always worked whenever I was using an Aztec dummy masking set. I paint on one of the colors, and then I mask off various hull panels as best I can. And then I paint another set of hull panels another color, and then I just keep repeating that process until I've gotten as much as I want done, and then I'll spray on the main hull color. Then I'll remove some of the masks from the masked off panels and then lightly spray the main hull color on them to lighten them up. These are the colors I've chosen. Obviously the main hull color, and this Insignia Red and this Dirty Red, there doesn't seem to be much difference between them. They both look the same when they're dried, but the Insignia Red looks a little darker, so I'm going to go with that instead. And for some of the different hull panels, I'm going to go with Tamiya Dark Yellow and NATO Green. And I'll use the AK Deep Yellow for different paint details on the model. Alright, now I'm starting to mask off the model. I'm masking off the panels that I want to keep this NATO Green color. And I'm not going to go super crazy with this. I'm just going to mask off a few panels on the top and on the bottom pieces. And here's what I've spent the past hour masking off. Now, like I said, I was not going to go super crazy with this masking. I was just going to mask off a couple of panels, but I wanted to keep this NATO green color. And so far I think I've done it. Alright, here's the top side piece. And like I said, I was not going to go too crazy with the masking. Just going to mask off enough panels to make it look good. And I'd say I've masked off enough here. Alright, here's a look at the bottom side. The same as the top side, not too many panels masked off, just enough to make it look good. I looked up some pictures of the filming model to get some ideas for the painting, and as you can see, this is the look I was going for, but it means I'm gonna have to rethink my masking method, because it looks like I'm gonna have to use every type of paint masking method that I know about in order to get this look. I don't expect to get this look 100% right, just enough to make the model look good.